Ever wonder why some people stay calm in chaos while others crumble? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's mental toughness, and it's something anyone can build. I used to think I was tough because I could push through stress or bury my emotions deep, but I was wrong. True strength isn't about suppressing pain, it's about mastering it. It's about clarity when your mind is clouded, resilience when everything is falling apart, and standing firm when every part of you wants to run. That's what Stoicism taught me. Not through theory, but through battle-tested practice. So here is the deal. I'm going to share 6 brutal, honest habits that helped me forge a stronger mindset. No fluff, just real habits from real struggle. And if you stick with me till the end, you might just walk away stronger than you started. Ready to level up? Hit that subscribe button and let's begin. 1. Embrace discomfort daily. There was a time in my life when I structured everything around comfort. I avoided anything that felt hard or uncertain. I'd delay tough conversations, quit tasks that frustrated me, and constantly chase little pleasures. Good food, mindless entertainment, warm beds, easy choices. At the time, it felt like I was protecting my peace, but in reality, I was softening my will. I wasn't growing. I was shielding myself from the very resistance that builds resilience. That changed the day I discovered the Stoic writings of Seneca. He spoke of sleeping on the floor, eating plain food, and asking himself, "Is this what I feared?" That line hit me. He wasn't just preaching toughness, he was practicing it. He knew that when we voluntarily lean into discomfort, we train the mind to stay calm when life becomes unpredictable. So I began small, cold showers instead of warm ones, skipping coffee to feel my natural energy, walking in the rain without a jacket, starting my mornings with the task I least wanted to do, not to suffer, but to strengthen, to prove that I was not a slave to comfort, cravings, or convenience. And something surprising happened. Life didn't become easier, but I became tougher. I stopped panicking over small inconveniences. I faced difficulty with a steady mind. Discomfort became familiar territory. In a world addicted to ease, learning to embrace discomfort became my edge. 2. Delay gratification. I used to chase quick rewards, junk food, scrolling, buying things I didn't need. I thought those little pleasures were harmless. But over time, I realized something deeper. Every time you give in to an impulse, you are teaching your mind that it can't wait, that it needs pleasure now, and that pattern quietly erodes your discipline. So I began practicing restraint, not out of moral obligation, but as a mental exercise. I'd see a dessert and say, "Not today." I'd hold off on watching a show until the weekend. I'd wait an hour after feeling hungry to eat. These weren't grand gestures, but they were powerful signals to my mind. I am in control, not my desires. Delaying gratification taught me patience. It taught me how to sit with discomfort, with craving, with longing, and not be ruled by them. And that's a form of inner power that few people ever develop. So the next time an urge for instant pleasure hits, take a pause. Just long enough to ask, will this make me stronger or weaker? Every time you delay gratification, you grow a little more disciplined, a little more free. 3. Control what you can, release what you can't. This was one of the hardest Stoic lessons for me to internalize. I've always been a bit of a control freak, constantly overthinking, micromanaging, trying to bend outcomes to my will. But life has a brutal way of humbling you. A few years back, I poured my heart into a project, gave it everything, sacrificed sleep, weekends, everything, and then it failed. Not because of my effort, but because of factors I couldn't foresee: market shifts, people backing out, timing. I was crushed. That's when I reread Epictetus. Some things are up to us, and some are not. I finally got it. I'd been investing all my energy into outcomes, things beyond my reach, instead of my efforts and intentions. Now, I focus only on what's in my hands. I write the best I can. I speak with honesty. I show up fully, and then I let go. This mindset can bring you peace, not because life is easier, but because you will no longer suffer twice. Once for the event, and again for trying to control it. 4. Say no. More often. If I'm honest, I used to be a chronic people pleaser. I said yes to everything, favors, invitations, obligations, not because I wanted to, but because I was afraid of disappointing others. I didn't want to be seen as selfish, rude, or difficult. But over time, I realized that every time I said yes, just to please others, I was quietly betraying myself. There were weekends I gave away when I desperately needed rest. Projects I agreed to that had nothing to do with my goals. Conversations I entertained out of guilt, not genuine connection. I was stretched thin, tired, distracted, and often resentful. I looked reliable on the outside, but inside I was overwhelmed and uncentered. Eventually something clicked. Every yes is a hidden no. A no to my peace, my priorities, my purpose. I realized I couldn't keep saying yes to everything and expect to stay aligned with what truly matters. So I began the difficult practice of saying no. No to extra commitments, no to draining social events, no to the endless digital distractions disguised as relaxation. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was letting people down. But over time, saying no became a quiet act of strength. I began to feel lighter, more focused, more in control of my time and energy. I wasn't being rude, I was being honest. Mental strength isn't about doing more. It's about guarding your energy with boundaries. Saying no, kindly but firmly, is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself and for your future. 5. Face fear head on. I used to avoid fear like the plague. Anything that stirred anxiety in me, I'd delay, distract, or deny. I convinced myself that fear was weakness, a flaw in my character that needed hiding or suppressing. But over time, I began to see fear differently. Fear isn't a sign of weakness. It's a signal. It's a compass that points directly to the areas where growth is waiting. One of my biggest fears used to be public speaking. Just the thought of standing in front of a group made my heart race. So I challenged myself. I signed up to speak in front of 30 people. My hands shook, my voice cracked, and my heart pounded. But I did it. And what I learned was eye-opening. The fear leading up to the event was far more painful than the actual experience. The monster I imagined in my mind was much bigger than reality. Since then, I've trained myself to treat fear as a guide. When something scares me, I don't run from it. I lean in, not blindly, but with awareness. I pause and ask myself, what exactly am I afraid of? If the answer is rejection, failure, embarrassment, or wounded pride, I know I'm in the right place. That's my edge. That's where transformation happens. Fear loses its grip the moment you stop resisting it. Because what you avoid ends up controlling you, but what you confront, you reclaim power from. Fear is not the enemy, it's the path. 6. Reflect daily. Stoicism without reflection is like strength without direction. For years I moved through life reactively, doing, achieving, rushing, but rarely stopping to ask, why? What did I learn? Where did I falter? That changed when I began journaling. Every night I sit with a pen and ask myself 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? Some nights, the answers are hard to admit. Maybe I snapped at someone. Maybe I gave in to comfort. But even that honesty is powerful, because self-awareness is the foundation of self-mastery. This habit of reflection has saved me from repeating mistakes. It's sharpened my decision-making. It's made me more emotionally resilient. In a chaotic world, my journal is my compass. It helps me course correct before I drift too far. Mental toughness doesn't scream, it endures. It doesn't need applause or attention. It's built in silence, when no one's watching, choice by choice, habit by habit. It's forged in the moments you say no to comfort, yes to fear, and keep moving when everything in you begs to quit. These 6 habits, embracing discomfort, delaying gratification, protecting your energy, facing fear, saying no, and relentless self-reflection, they didn't just shape me, they reconstructed me. Brick by brick, they built a mind that doesn't shake when pressure hits. That's the power the Stoics understood. The strongest warrior isn't the one who conquers the world. It's the one who conquers themselves. So don't wait for chaos to toughen you up. Build your armor now. Step into discomfort. Sharpen your will. And when the storm finally hits, and it will, you won't flinch. You'll stand in the center of it all, calm, clear, unbreakable.